Well, just 1 week into Delta Force's alpha test, folks, the developers are dropping brand new content for us to enjoy, with more on the way very, very soon. Yep, you heard that right. An alpha test of all things is dropping more content just 1 week after its release. Today, we have a brand new engineer operator, David Feller, codenamed Uaro, and in a couple of days, a new map for Hazard Operations called Space City, and a new game mode for Havoc Warfare, King of the Hill. And on top of all that, folks, the developers also just dropped a 2-hour-long dev Q&A with some very juicy details in there. Is it just me, or does it feel like Christmas has come a little early? G'day there once again, viewers, your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today, let's do a download on all of the news and new content coming to the game in the coming days, and let me tell you folks, there is some good stuff to unpack here. So folks, at the time of writing this video, I've managed to get a couple of games in using Uaro, which, by the way, if this isn't an Australian operator, I will bloody riot. With a name like Uaro and the fact that one of his abilities literally makes him a plasterer tradie, I will be so upset if I don't get one of the crispest g'day mates from his voice line pack. But jokes aside, I have to be honest, this guy is an absolute weapon of an engineer in the game here, and is going to be a new top pick for maps like Ascension or any open air vehicle heavy maps that we get in the future. Going over his kit here real quickly, he is rocking the loitering munition rocket launcher as his primary kit, which we'll talk to in more detail here shortly. The quick set cover tactical ability, which sprays a quick setting concrete wall for cover. The composite incendiary grenade, which, as it sounds, acts like an AoE incendiary grenade. And the battle hardened trait, which gives him better resistance to slowing effects from fractures and class gear. I'm not 100% certain if this actually has a mechanical impact to his gameplay in Havoc Warfare, but I'll do some testing shortly and see if I can come up with anything. His quick set cover in particular has been very useful so far, and really lets you fortify already solid positions, or just give your teammates and yourself some much needed cover in an open environment. Seriously, a great ability in my opinion so far, and it's a welcome addition to Delta Force Hawk Ops. But we've really got to focus on the star of the show here, folks, his primary ability, that being the loitering munition. Yes, folks, that giant rocket launcher on his back is essentially this game's take on a TV missile, of which I know is going to be a controversial introduction to the game for all of my vehicle compadres out there. Now, this new ability does come with a bit of a twist. When this thing hits its target, it will then split into 4 bomblets that detonate a little bit later. The original impact still does very decent damage, but it's nothing extreme per se. Approximately 31 damage to an MBT in my brief testing with it. The bomblets also seem to do a decent amount of damage to infantry as well, so I can see this thing having a couple of uses so far, such as softening up infantry targets that are in a heavily dug in spot behind cover, potentially, killing a couple if they loiter. It's also great for hitting a vehicle from an extreme distance and potentially hurting the infantry that are repairing it in the process, but I also see this being cheese to high hell, with squads of this character rocking a coordinated strikes with this missile system against vehicles just to delete them instantly. The cooldown time on the loitering munition is also on the shorter side at the moment, and as an added bonus, you can also equip and run a standard rocket launcher as well, whether it be a Javelin, Stinger, or an AT4. So in particular, an AT4 and this thing, if it's, readily available, is a smattering amount of pressure on enemy vehicles, and I think that it might actually be a touch too good at the moment. We did kind of get a little bit silly with it on my latest live stream over on Twitch, which I highly recommend you guys come say good day in yourself. First link in the description down below. But yeah, I actually think some balance passes are due for this thing, so don't be surprised if it gets the nerf bat in the near future. But yeah, Uaro right now is the star of the show when it comes to the content. Once again, man, I hope this man is a hunk of an Aussie. But as I said, folks, that is not all. A brand new Hazard Operations map in the form of Space City is coming, alongside a couple of new events for the mode on August 16th. I honestly haven't played Hazard Operations as of yet, but I'm glad that you guys are getting some new content for that side of the game nice and early, and I'll likely give it a whirl on the release as well. But something that's also coming out that's a little bit closer to home for me over in Havoc Warfare is that we're getting the King of the Hill game mode on that same date, August 16th. I really can't tell you guys how excited I am to see another mode come to this part of the game. Don't get me wrong, I like the A/D mode a lot already, but to have a mode that is a bit more free-flowing and will bring new ways to experience and stress test these maps that we're playing on right now, is going to bring a lot of fresh flavor to the game once again. Personally, given that we are in a testing phase here, I think King of the Hill was a great choice for the second game mode. It does better concentrate the action into key objectives, and it really allows the flow of certain landmarks or capture points to be really put to the test. I know a lot of people were asking, why not Conquest or a similar mode to that, but I feel like that is something that can come in due time, guys, after we do some real stress testing of these maps with a mode like King of the Hill. King of the Hill, I think, will afford the developers a better bulk of data to work with, and will hopefully give them the feedback they need to improve the maps across the board. Overall, though, I'm really excited to get my hands on this mode soon. It's going to be chaos, and I'm all for it. Now, that's a quick rundown on all of the content that we're getting in the next couple of days, guys. Again, the fact that we're getting content in the first place this early on is just a wild concept to me personally. I know that the developers said they were way ahead of the curve when it came to, making content, and they were working on content for Season 4 already, but I gotta be honest, guys, that just seemed too good to be true originally, and now we're starting to see actionable intel that actually points to, them being ahead of schedule like so, which is awesome. But we aren't done yet for today, folks. No. Just because these developers weren't done cooking, they decided to drop a massive Q&A section that spoke to some of the community's biggest concerns and question marks so far. The biggest bit of news for me here is the confirmation that the alpha test will last well into September, at least as it's currently planned to do so, meaning that we have at least another 4 weeks, I want to say, of Delta Force shenanigans to enjoy. Music to my fucking ears. And while I think that we're going to have a small part of us destroyed when we can no longer get our hands on the game for a while there, man, we get to enjoy it just that little bit longer. The withdrawals are going to be fucked, like an alcoholic going cold turkey after just murdering a bottle of JD daily, but I think the highs will be worth it in this instance. We also got some hard confirmation from the developers that pay-to-win mechanics will be avoided with a 40-foot pole in Delta Force Hawk Ops, both in the Hazard Operations and in the Havoc Warfare modes. Shadow, the game's lead developer, confirmed that items will never be sold that offer statistics-based improvements to their characters, ammo, weaponry, everything. Everything that is sold in the future will be limited to cosmetic content only, while sticking in line with the game's visual design. They even made a specific tongue-in-cheek reference to not including operators like Nicki Minaj, which I will be honest got one hell of a giggle out of me. But no, it's really nice to see a developer enter the mix here that appears to not only have the visual integrity of the game at the forefront of their thinking, but also the moral integrity of not exploiting the user base for every dollar they hold. My fingers are very much crossed that we don't see a BSG level move here in the future and get totally blindsided, but the actions will obviously speak louder than words here should shit go down, and we just need to hold them accountable. The developers also confirmed that more server locations are coming beyond the 3 currently service locations, being the EU, the west coast of the United States, and Singapore, and that will be obviously very nice for many more regions out there, I'm sure. I know that my fellow Aussies are desperately hankering for some local servers on our front, so my fingers are crossed. Proximity chat is also confirmed to be coming to Havoc Warfare, alongside the ability to customize your weapons mid-match too. I know that's something that I've been, desperately looking for, but these are changes that will not be coming to Hazard Operations, but I kind of thought that that was a given at that stage. And lastly, but certainly not least for a lot of people out there, jets are being worked on as we speak, and we can expect to see them pretty soon apparently. So yeah, a nice little confirmation for you flyboys out there. But folks, those were all the big talking points for Delta Force Hawk Ops as of today. Obviously, I am trying my absolute best to keep you guys up to date with everything that is coming out for this game. I've got so much content I want to do for it as soon as possible, being guides, just general discussions about the game and its place in the industry right now. But between you and me, guys, if this is the kind of pace and the kind of quality that we can expect from this game in the long run, we have got a very bright future ahead of us, and dare I say, it's starting to finally look up for first-person shooter players across the board. We may finally have the game that's come along that is going to save us from this drought that we've been in for such a long time. But folks, that is going to be everything from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, backhand the like button. It does go a long way to supporting the channel and getting the content out there. And if you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing whilst you're at it, because I would love to have you guys a part of the community long term. A reminder to come check out our live streams down at twitch.tv/kamikaze78. We are currently doing a charity campaign over there, guys, and your support would be greatly appreciated. But until next time, guys, peace out, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.